What's going on, guys? It's Charles Ferrito here, and we're back at Function Factor Performance. And behind me is our 2020 Ford Raptor, and it's gonna be getting a slew of performance parts from, guess what? This video is sponsored by Full-Race Motorsports. So huge shout out to Full-Race Motorsports for giving us this slew of parts over here that we're about to show you all of. We've tested a lot of these products, gone to the dyno, and guess what, guys? These products do work. And we actually just got back from the dyno yesterday where we made a whopping 65 more wheel horsepower on this truck. What I want to get straight into, let's look at the full race box. I've got it down here, guys. I've kind of already ruffled it up. We've got our Y pipe. Looks like we've got a charge pipe here with a blow-off valve, more charge pipes. Trying to separate all the couplers over here. We've got a check sheet. We've got a bunch of vacuum line. And looks like, oh yeah, we've got a cold air intake. Check that out. Some more couplers, nice branded full race couplers. They are a 1, 2, looks like 4 ply. Got a bunch of T-bolt clamps. Nice band clamps here, guys. And they are labeled, so that's cool. Got the catch can mount. Looks like our ACC bracket. Don't know what that bracket is, we'll figure it out. Some big AN lines. Looks like we got our catch can valves in there as well. Full race plate. Looks like we got an intake. No, this is one of the charge pipes. Got a throttle body spacers with vacuum ports on the bottom. Oh my gosh, full race, you and your packing peanuts. We got more couplers. We got Turbo Smart. Got a Turbo Smart EM blow-off valve. So that is the OEM replacement blow-off valve with the electronic pigtail. So that's pretty cool. Another charge pipe. Got some couplers. It's like early Christmas. I think I found the intercooler. Oh, there's a catch can. Check that out. It's cool. AN lines, all powder coated. Big bracket. We got more parts here because this kit is massive. All right, we got us a core, intercooler core. Ugh. All right, there we go. Check that out. We'll take the tape off of there. All right, I gotta dive in the booty here for the packing peanuts. There are an obnoxious amount of packing peanuts. I got 2 K&N filters. Oh look, I found a bumper beam. This thing is rare as fuck. Well guys, I think that is it. Okay, I think that's it. OEM intercoolers, pretty shitty. I mean, the stock intercooler doesn't even compare. We've got an intercooler that's almost 60% larger than the OEM intercooler. Not only that, there's a split vane inside this intercooler to help the air move through this intercooler as fast as possible. This is by far the most advanced intercooler for your Raptor. The only downside, and again, I can't be biased, guys, because I sell all parts. Love you, Full-Race. You do have to cut your shutter grills. You buy this and get into this, just know you have to cut those shutters. So if you're looking for a truck that you want to get rid of down the road, there are other options for OEM mounting replacements, and we can talk about that later, because they're still sponsored by Ford. But if you want the biggest intercooler, this is definitely your best option. Another reason why a lot of our customers go to this, they like to put winches on them. So, I mean, my bad, snow plows. The snow plows right here, guess what? Where's the flow? There's no flow, right? So if we get the intercooler up here, snow plow is right here, we got plenty of flow going through that intercooler. And also, additionally, if you want to put a big ass winch in here, you want to put an ADD bumper, you got to move that intercooler up there. All right, guys, from what I can deduce, we've got our intake box. This is our cold air intake box. These are 2 intake pipes that will replace the pipes in the engine. You're gonna reuse some of your plastic piping. We've got our full race transcooler, because if you do the intercooler, might as well do the transcooler, and you might as well do the radiator, right? Check this bad boy out. Damn, nice. So we'll compare the 2 coolers. Check that out. Nice packaging, actually. Looks like it's manufactured by CSF. CFS stuff is super, super high quality. Me and Alex do tow with our Raptors. We tow my car. We tow my 2016 Ford Mustang EcoBoost that you can see over there. We did notice the first time we ever pulled my car to Auto Club, the trans temp did get a little hot. Not too crazy, but I want to see obviously what the difference is going to be with that installed when we tow our Gym Glow trailer. Personally, I didn't have any problems, but maybe I wasn't watching the temps close enough. But all I know is that if we can keep the transmission cool while we tow cars, obviously it's going to increase our longevity of our transmission. So last thing we've got is our radiator. We've got our cap that says Full Race on it. That's cool. 1.4 bar. Wow, I've never seen that. It's usually 1.3. So the Full Race 20 PSI increased pressure racing radiator caps are a critical upgrade for high performance engine cooling system, suitable for both stock and aftermarket radiators. Pull off the foam. What is this, Gordon Ramsay? Just like that. Up with the radiator. Really nice and shiny. And carefully lift it up. Check it out. So it's all chrome. That's cool. Super chrome. From what I can tell, it looks thicker for sure. I definitely want to see a diagram of what's going on inside of here versus the OEM. So I believe this is a CSF. Yes, maybe so. Yes, it is a CSF. So obviously a full race spec provided by CSF. You know, welds are definitely pretty nice. It is, I saw other units, not too nice. This is really killer. I love it. And that's it, guys. That is the unboxing of all of our stuff. That does it for our unboxing of our Raptor parts, again, provided by Full-Race Motorsports. Big shout out to Full-Race Motorsports for helping us with this project, and they've been a provider of our performance parts for more than a decade. They've helped me with my Nissan 240SX, they've helped me with my 2016 Ford Mustang EcoBoost, and of course, now our beautiful 2020 Ford Raptor behind me. Me and Alex are always saying we don't need more power because, you know, we do some crazy shit off-road. Some people like rock crawling, some people like going fast. Personally, I think the truck has a great balance of speed and power going off-road. And you know, I just drove this truck with that tune I was saying. Oh my God, it's a completely different truck. So I'm very curious of what it's gonna be like off-road, because I think I'm gonna be off the throttle a lot more than I am on it, but who knows? We'll see what that added power can do. Because you gotta remember, guys, the suspension does have its limitations. It's not gonna hit whoops like a trophy truck or a mid-travel kit. Guys, don't get me wrong, this truck is amazing. Adding more power to it to go off-road, kind of pointless, but again, it's cool to talk some shit, tell your friends you got more horsepower. You guys wanna make your truck faster? This is how you make your truck faster. I already know this truck's gonna make a great amount of power. If you guys want, we'll definitely test this intake versus our stock intake box after all these mods are done and see what happens. Just either way, because I'm gonna keep it on. So without further ado, we are gonna dive in to this truck for the next few minutes till we get sick of it. Enjoy the show. We're gonna be playing a lot of Legos here, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, day, I don't even know anymore, but let's get right to it. So we figured out that we can pull the shutters with a it's like a flexible ratcheting wrench. It is the most awkward placed bolt I have definitely ever seen. It's just a pain, guys. You're just gonna have to really get in there. So it looks like Alex kind of figured it out. I think we need to push the shutters up and then pull them down. There we go. Yeah, there's a pointy thing that's holding onto the front bumper. Oh, there it is. So there it is, guys. The shutters are completely out. So all of our shutter system is out. But we did get a grinder, and we'll be grinding those away. So now we'll be draining our coolant, because I want to get that out of the way really bad. All right, guys, I'm gonna drain the coolant and make a mess and probably yell. So there's a Petcock, P-E-T-C-O-C-K cock. So we're draining the radiator because we're obviously replacing it.
Do it.
All right, here we go.
Make sure you break it.
Oh, there it is. Oh, God.
All right, we found the pro tip. You're gonna want to get you a piece of tubing and put it on that little, I don't know, nipple, and go from there. And when you pull your radiator cap, it will come out nicely into your drain pan. It's kind of slow, but at least it doesn't make a mess.
Before we get started with this, I wanted to show you guys. So here's the OEM cooler. For some reason, they decided to give up. So Full Race decided to say, no, let's keep going. So we've got our Full Race CSF cooler here that goes from the OEM link. Has the same amount of rows as well, but it goes all the way to the end. So clearly you can tell if it's longer. I mean, longer, more volume, more cooling capacity. The fins are also tighter than the OEM unit. That's gonna allow for better heat dissipation. My thing is this gonna leak when we pull it? Of course it's gonna leak. Hey, moment of truth, guys.
Put it back. Okay, now we know. Something's dripping on the ground. Doesn't look like coolant.
Neat.
Well, we put all the fluids on your floor so far.
I'm not wearing gloves. I know. I just went through 10 gloves. Just spilled oil all over them. Well, I thought I wasn't awake. Now I'm awake. Okay, now we have access to the fan and shroud. So on each side, there's two 10 millimeters. This is actually the last part that will need to come out before we start reassembling. So we're kind of almost there. Guys, there are some clips that go through the middle of the shroud and they have teeth on them, obviously. And you guys gotta pop them off with you gotta get some leverage in there with a screwdriver.
We have a stud with a bolt built in. This was installed into the radiator. On top of it, you have this transmission cooler line bracket with a nut. That obviously comes off first. Move this out of the way and you can remove this stud. The next step is to pull a fairly hidden 10 millimeter. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get it on camera, but it's buried down in here.
I kinda got it.
You'll need to use an offset block wrench to get it out of there. Okay, we've got the bolts out of the condenser holding it to the radiator. Now we've pulled the top two bolts from the radiator. Now we can lean it back just a hair and you can come over here and see on this side at the top, there is a locking mechanism that holds the condenser.
Hold on.
You want a light on it or you can see it?
I got it.
Okay, right here, there's just a slot on top and bottom of this side. So once we push this back, in theory, yep, this will pop out. And we're just gonna set that in front. Leave everything intact on your air conditioning side or you will have to get it recharged. And releasing refrigerant's bad. So now the final step, just to get the shroud out, I'm gonna have to raise the radiator and condenser up to get to the last tab holding this shrouding to the fan shroud. Easier said than done, but this is the only way that we can find to do it.
Guys, if you've made it this far in the video, I'll send you a cookie.
Yay! Kind of working it back and forth. All right, we are going to finish removing our connections from the radiator.
This video, guys, is gonna take 2 years to make, by the way.
So if you're seeing this, I hope COVID is over. More mumbling jumbo to myself about working it out.
Mm-hmm.
There's apparently another gallon worth of coolant left in the radiator, so prepare for that.
GG, let's go home. Well, guys, that's it. That's 50% of shit that we got. It's 50% there. That's all the stuff you need to remove before we can start reinstallation here. I think we're gonna check out the charge pipe situation first since we have all this access, and then we'll go from there.
So with the F-150 and Raptor radiator install, obviously the old radiator is already out. We've got this one slid mostly into place. You're gonna have 4 mounting points for the condenser. You can see right here, there's 1 and there's 2. These slots actually just slide right down into here. You've got this rubber grommet that comes off of the stock radiator. You're gonna need to make sure that you have that before you start sliding your Full-Race radiator into place. It just mounts down into the hole right there and holds everything snug. So you can see these tabs just slide right into their mounting place on the stock radiator. So the condenser just slides right in there. That's a good spot to just boop. And then there's actually a screw that will essentially clamp this in place. This is not a tight mount, so.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That dude sent you grapefruits?
Bro, what?
Oh, is that what this is about? So wait, are you telling me boy wants to slop your knob while he has you fucking grapefruit?
Bro, what a gift, dude. Fucking Noel. Oh my god. That's crazy, bro. I don't even know.
Do you think they get fucked up messages like that all the time? You alright?
You good? He knows your name, dog. He's seen your social media clearly.
Dude, he sends you grapefruits.
So these are 2 other radiator mounts just right at the top where the radiators are going to bolt in. These actually slide on and off of the actual truck itself. You can kind of see right here. And it's got a bushing, that way it's not hard mounted to the truck. That slides on. And then everything We're ready to bolt it up. Should line up just fine. We'll send the bolt right through there. So, and there's one on the other side on the top as well.
Gotta thread it and make sure there's a cross thread.
Just hit her with the impact, bud.
Never coming off.
So one of the really big improvements of the Full-Race Radiator over the stock unit, yes, of course it has additional cooling, but these end tanks are actually TIG welded right to the core. So you don't have to worry about your OEM plastic end tanks ever cracking and leaking. You spend the money and get the right unit the first time and go from there. Like all mechanics know, finding the hole is half the battle. So this is right. So these are quick connect. So basically you get it on there and you hit this and it'll pop right over and it'll tighten back up.
So do this, what you're saying. That's what I just did.
And it didn't.
It goes over the thing, but this is as tight as it goes basically. You see what I'm saying?
We're gonna have to kind of do a little bit of both at the same time.
I'll squeeze this.
Yes, sir.
And move it back here, and then we can get a slit over there.
Okay, so you do have this spring clip that actually holds the hose in place. This is actually kind of a nice feature. So you'll want to just disengage that about halfway. Slide this right on, and once it's in place, boom. Spring clip engaged, we're good to go.
Tell them, don't be like us and don't forget this shit.
So guys, one other thing, and if you removed all of these parts, you probably realize this, but don't forget to remount your transmission hardline when you're actually mounting the condenser to the radiator. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna mount is the Full-Race transmission cooler. This is actually gonna help keep, obviously, your transmission fluid and then subsequently your transmission quite a bit cooler. We all know that these 10-speed transmissions do quite a bit of shifting. The surface area is much more significant on the core of this unit over the stock unit. So we'll see a pretty solid temperature drop across the entire range. The install on this is pretty simple. It's just one bolt in each mounting tab, and then obviously you have the hard lines that you have to connect. Okay guys, so once you guys have everything installed, you're gonna notice that you have these two additional bungs. For this particular model, we don't need to do anything with it except for cap it. This is actually for an integrated transmission cooler. Obviously we have the upgraded cooler and we have an external anyways on this Ford Raptor, so we don't need to worry about doing anything except for plugging these. This does run through separate chambers from the coolant, so it's not under any pressure. We're just gonna cap it for us and be good to go. Some of you guys might actually not have an external transmission cooler. That's when you're going to use these ports. You'll notice when you uninstall or remove your stock radiator, you'll have to remove those anyways, and it should be pretty straightforward.
Dude. These nuts.
There we go.
Oh, this just clips on the radiator. Oh, okay. Well,
This shit's easy coming out. Oh, now we have radiator bolts. So what we're getting lined up right now is the bumper beam. This is actually going to support the intercooler. Bolts set down in there. Okay, so we have the grommets off the stock radiator. You're going to need these from the stock intercooler. Slide these jammers right on the bottom. And Full-Race is nice enough to have a slotted oval here, so we've got a little bit of play. Well, look at that. She looks good. So after that, we have another support that goes on top. We are going to need to use the bracket that does connect to the hood latch. With the hood latch, we do want to make sure that we mark where the bolts are and actually where the actual flange is on the truck, just to make sure that when we bolt everything back together, the hood closes without issue. And we don't need to do any additional adjusting. So give her a little mark there, a little mark there, and we'll just mark the corners.
that's good.
All right, guys, so this is the stock unit that came out of the truck. This is a stock intercooler. Again, we kind of talked about it with the radiator. We've got these plastic end tanks, and they're just kind of clamped on from the factory. No offense to Ford, but at some point, we expect those to probably leak on higher mileage trucks. So this is also a great preventative measure to prevent that from happening. In addition to that, this will flow up to 1,000 CFM as far as internal flow per full race. So they say that this actually flows 70% more than this stock unit, and at 700 horsepower levels, not that this truck will see that, they see less than a 1 PSI drop in boost pressure. So the unit obviously is a lot larger on the face as far as the core is concerned, and it's quite a bit thicker as well. So that is just going to add to the additional cooling effect and keep our intake air temperatures quite a bit lower.
Getting close to finished buttoning up the truck. We're just got the coolant reservoir back in. There's 3 connections on it you'll need to hook up. This hose right here connects to the full race radiator at the top. We've got 2 connections on the backside, one being the lower port with that twist lock fitting on it, and then we've got this upper hose right here. We've got the one side of this hose on the drain for our catch can. I'll be running that down below, somewhere safe and away from the exhaust that it won't melt, that we can use to empty that catch can as needed without making a mess in the engine bay. And then the remainder of this tubing I'm going to use on the radiator relief and run it out the bottom as well, just in case of an overheat accident, that coolant won't go all over the engine bay. That's basically it for this. We will be buttoning up the trim, grill, and skid plate after that. I'll try to cover it as best I can. All right, so we've got our skid plate bolted up. That's those 4 13mm bolts, along with the 2 15s towards the back of the truck. We've got all our grills reinstalled, which is exactly the reverse of what we did to take them apart. And we are ready to fill the truck with coolant. We will give you guys an update when we are running.
So, I've been missing for about half the video, clearly. Thank you to the guys, Donnie, Dylan, Justin, Chase, and Alex for getting this truck done. So I want to go over with you guys what we got done really quick. So we did the full race intercooler, so that relocates the intercooler up to the grill, takes it from here and up here. We did the full race radiator and transmission cooler, so got the nice shiny, much thicker radiator, and we got the much longer trans cooler. We did the full race cold air intake, so I'm excited to hear that here in a few seconds. And additionally, we did the Full-Race oil catch can. And you know, guys, again, this video is sponsored by Full-Race, but I have to tell you guys, this project didn't go as smoothly as you would think it would go, especially being sponsored. Of course, Full-Race is made in America, which is super awesome, but it just doesn't go as smoothly as planned. I mean, there are so many different versions of this truck, especially the 2019 and 2020s. We did find 2 clamps that didn't fit. They got that squared away right away, so huge shout out to them. And then the blow-off valve did not fit the pipe exactly, and we had to burr it out a little. There are just so many different parts being manufactured. There's different blow-off valves. You can't hit all the marks. And additionally, we did find the Turbo Smart blow-off valve did not fit into the OEM clip all the way, so we just made a very small modification. Looks like the 2020 clip is a little shorter. There are some small variations on the 2019-2020 versus the 2017 to 2018 F-150 and the Raptor. And it's important that we gather this data, and of course we share it with Full-Race and TurboSmart and all the other manufacturers if we have discrepancies, and so that they can better themselves to make sure that you, the end user, don't have the problems that we had. Obviously, I've had my truck for almost 5 or 6 days now, and that's obviously sucks, but it is what it is, and that's why we're making this video. So we can show you guys how to install it. I know this video was pretty rough, but if you did stick through it, I really want to thank you for watching all of us, the entire crew here at Function Factor Performance, try and get this darn thing in. But beyond trying, they did do it, and the end product does look fantastic. So again, guys, huge thank you to Full-Race Motorsports for sponsoring this project. I'm excited to get this bad boy on the dyno. So if you guys don't know, additionally, there are the Full-Race manifolds on this truck. So in reality, this truck is full bolt-on minus bolt-on turbochargers. So we still on stock turbochargers, we still are on stock downpipes, and we are on stock exhaust. That will be changing in the coming weeks probably. We won't tackle it that fast. We got to get back on Frank's car right now, and we got to get back on my car. So Frank's car and my car are the priority. I'm super glad this truck got to where it's at, and we're about to get some data, more data on it to provide all of our consumers, our end users, and Full-Race with those gains that we're about to make. Again, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'm Charles Street, I'm the owner here at Function Factor Performance. Give us a follow, give us a like, follow us here at FF Performance AZ on Instagram. Send us your cars, keep tagging us for your parts. Thank you for tags. And guys, we are doing a ton of free sticker giveaways, and thank you for everyone that has signed up for that. So for now, I'm out.